In recent decades, psychologists and biologists have taken up the challenge of studying scientifically what really makes people happy. Is it money, family, genetics, or perhaps virtue? The first step is to define what is to be measured. The generally accepted definition of happiness is subjective well-being. Happiness, according to this view, is immediate pleasure or long-term contentment with the way life is going. If it's something felt inside, how can it be measured from the outside? One interesting conclusion is that money does indeed bring happiness. But only up to a point. Beyond that point it has little significance. For people stuck at the bottom of the economic ladder, more money means greater happiness. For example, if you are an American single mother earning $12,000 a year cleaning houses and suddenly win $500,000 on the lottery, you will probably experience a significant and long-term surge in your subjective well-being. You'll be able to feed and clothe your children without sinking further into debt. However, if you're a top executive earning $250,000 a year, and you win $1 million on the lottery, or your company board suddenly decides to double your salary, your surge of happiness is likely to last only a few weeks. According to the empirical findings, it's certainly almost not going to make a big difference to the way you feel over the long run. You'll buy a snazzier car, move into a palatial home, get used to drinking Chateau Petrus instead of California Cabernet, but it'll soon all seem routine and unexceptional. Catching a disease. Another interesting finding is that illness decreases happiness in the short term, but is a source of a long-term distress only if a person's condition is constantly deteriorating or if the disease involves ongoing and debilitating pain. People that are diagnosed with chronic illness such as diabetes are usually depressed for a while. But if the illness does not get worse, they adjust to their new condition and their rate of happiness is high. Family and community. Marriage seems to have more impact on our happiness than money and health. People with strong families who live in tight-knit and supportive communities are significantly happier than people whose families are dysfunctional and who have never found or never sought a community to be part of. Marriage is particularly important. The most important finding of all. It is that happiness does not really depend on objective conditions of either wealth, health, or even community. Rather, it depends on the correlation between objective conditions and subjective expectations. What you expect and what you actually get. For example, you want a brand new Ferrari and only get a second-hand Fiat, you feel deprived. This is why winning the lottery has over time the same impact on people's happiness as a debilitating car accident. When things improve, expectations balloon, and consequently even dramatic improvements in objective conditions can leave us dissatisfied. When things deteriorate, expectations shrink, and consequently even a severe illness might leave you pretty much as happy as you were before. Prophets, poets, and philosophers realized thousands of years ago that being satisfied with what you already have is far more important than getting more of what you want. We moderns have an arsenal of tranquilizers and painkillers at our disposal. It's hard to accept this line of thinking. The problem is a fallacy of reasoning embedded deep in our psyches. When we try to guess or imagine how happy other people are now or how people in the past were, we inevitably imagine ourselves in their shoes.